Hi guys, welcome to Travel with Austin. I'm Austin. And before we get this video started, I just want to give a big thank you to Robert Martens for letting me use some of this retro footage that his grandparents took of the Pennsylvania Turnpike in 1953. I will link to his original video down in the description, so please go check it out and thank him for letting me use this. Now, the Pennsylvania Turnpike is a series of highway and tunnels in Pennsylvania. Back in the olden days, I believe it had 7 tunnels, and I think now it is down to only 4. 3 of the tunnels were shut down. One is currently owned privately and used for car testing, which I'm not really sure what that means. And then 2 of them are now shut down and part of the abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike that you can visit today. And me and my friend Ethan just went and recently visited it. So we drove the 4.5 hours from Ohio to Breezewood, Pennsylvania, parked in a dirt parking lot, and began a 1.5-mile hike to the first tunnel, which is Raised Hill Tunnel. Now, despite it being pretty warm out, there was still a lot of snow on the ground, and it made the hike a bit worse than it should have been. But after a 1.5 miles of hiking on the abandoned highway, finally we rounded the corner and Raised Hill Tunnel came into view. So finally, after walking, we reached the tunnel, and of course this is considered the more traveled tunnel, so it was very much covered in graffiti. I was very much a fan of the design of the tunnel. As you can see, it's like 3 layers going in as they get smaller. So of course, one of the first things that we checked out when we got here was if we could see in the maintenance rooms or possibly get in them. Sadly, at this one, they have been welded shut, so you cannot get in them. But I still peeked my camera in, and you can look around. Now, there really wasn't much to see in these, even though we couldn't get in. These tunnels did close in the 1960s, I believe 1968. As you can see, it does look like there are stairs in the background, but they were probably gone at this point, and there was a hole into the ceiling. So then, walking back towards the tunnel, we could see the light on the other side, as you'll soon see. And to me, that was honestly a bit of a surprise, because I figured it would be like the Silver Run Tunnel, where I couldn't see the light on the other side, and after a few steps in, I wouldn't be able to see anything at all. So something else worth mentioning is that in one of these 2 tunnels, part of the movie The Road was filmed here, which is an interesting fact for any movie buffs out there. Now, we started to make our way into the tunnel, going to the other side. Even though you can see the light on the other side of this tunnel, it does kind of have a feeling like the more you walk into it, the further away the end gets, almost like you're walking through an endless tunnel. Now, walking through the tunnel, it was mostly empty except for disregarded spray paint cans and beer bottles. And that is until we got about 75% of the way through, and we saw something hanging from the ceiling. And as we got closer, we realized that it was actually a noose that was hanging from the ceiling. Although you cannot see it in the video, it is hanging from a steel beam in that hole up there. So that really creeped us out a bit. Now, as we reached the end of the tunnel, there was an open door on this end to one of the maintenance rooms. And of course, I had to check it out. So I did walk in. It was mostly empty other than trash and what looked to be old circuit breaker boxes. And there was also a window that would have looked out on the old highway. So after this, we decided to go to the next tunnel, which is Sideling Hill. Now this tunnel was a bit harder to find. We did have to drive down some back roads, and we did have to turn down this road that actually looked like it was someone's driveway. And past that was actually the parking lot for this tunnel. And after about a mile walk through the snow, we did in fact find it. Now, when we did arrive, we did notice that on this end, the maintenance room was open, so we did take a peek inside. The floor was mostly covered in ice, but as you can see, you can walk straight in. There is a lot of graffiti everywhere in here, and we walked around looking around. We entered in to see if there were still stairs in here, but as you'll probably see in just a second as we enter this room, the stairs are all completely gone, and there's just metal railings in the place of where they used to be. And then backing out and checking out this small room over here, you can actually see as we go in that it mostly just had old equipment in it, and actually had what looked to be a coal oven. Now, I did read online that the ventilation fans for these tunnels were coal powered, so it's very possible that they could have been used for that. Now, I've also heard that on the west end, you can go and visit the maintenance tunnels, and you can even get up to the second floor. But sadly, we did not have time to walk through this tunnel, being that we had to be back in Ohio, and this tunnel was so much bigger. But we did make sure to take a peek in every place that we could. I definitely plan on returning here sometime in the next few summers to do a more proper exploration of it. And this is a public area, so I definitely do recommend going and checking it out. It is very easy to find. It is part of the Pike to Bike, and the tunnels themselves are just amazing to look at. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of our little exploration there. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.